Hello everyone, and welcome to another discussion video where I'm going to briefly give my thoughts on the latest couple of trailers for Silent Hill 2 Remake from the State of Play and Silent Hill Transmission. Once again, I wanted to take my time gathering my thoughts on this before putting this video together, as there is a lot to go over. Slight spoiler warning and trigger warning as we are about to discuss a difficult subject. The State of Play trailer featured a lot of Angela Orozco, and so far I'm seeing a lot of the conversation centred around how she looks. Well, I don't care about how Angela looks. What I care about is how her harrowing story is handled. Once again, spoiler warning for those that haven't played the original, but Angela was the victim of sexual abuse at the hands of her father. In the original, this subject was subtly alluded to, and throughout the game, a bigger picture was painted, reaching a sad conclusion as Angela walked up the burning stairs. Even by that point, what happened to her is never outright explained, even though you have a pretty good idea, with Angela showing great distrust of James, the suicide references, the cowering in the abstract daddy section, and then wishing James had never saved her because she felt like she deserved what happened to her. A theme commonly seen in victims of abuse. Now, there is one scene in the original where you do hear Angela say, "No daddy, please don't," before going into the abstract daddy boss fight, which is probably the biggest indicator of what's going on with Angela, but that's the least subtle her segments get. In this new game trailer, Angela is seen saying,
"I'll be good, I promise. Tell him I'll be good, please."
Which felt a little off to me. It's very in your face, and given Bloober's track record in regards to representing abuse and mental health, I can't help but be worried. Now, if it turns out to be a pseudo replacement for the No Daddy line in the original, then you know what? Fair enough. On its own, it actually says a lot less than the original line, but we shall see. For anyone complaining about her looks, please don't. Angela is supposed to be 19, and in the remake actually looks like a 19-year-old as opposed to the much older look she had in the original. If you don't think her face is pretty enough, then, well, that's your cross to bear. Not every video game character needs to be the best looking thing you've ever seen. Silent Hill is not about that. It's about the story. From a graphical perspective, in the first trailer, the animations did look a touch janky and different in places. But we do have 5 months left before release, and things can always be tidied before then. So I'm not going to judge it completely by what we've seen in the trailer, even though it didn't look the greatest. That's all I really wanted to pick apart from that trailer, as the majority of the information we got came from the Silent Hill Transmission. We got nearly 14 minutes of gameplay footage, and you know what? It didn't look terrible. It seems like they've made some changes to parts of the game, which is okay. For instance, James no longer discovers the radio inside the small closed off tunnel, but instead in a room which may or may not be the apartment buildings. Once again, I'm okay with this, as I think if you're going to do a remake, it shouldn't be a one-for-one, but prettier. You want to keep things somewhat fresh but also familiar, as to not alienate fans of the original. Maria's look has also seemingly been toned down. She no longer wears that signature leopard print skirt, but is instead wearing a dress and jacket combo. Back to what I said before, I don't mind the change. The important thing about Maria is her character and the way she acts around James. If that's done well, then what she's wearing doesn't really matter. I imagine they have her OG costume as an unlockable anyway, and if they don't, well, you should probably add it in, Konami. I know you're listening. Other changes I noticed was the fact that there is now on-screen information such as the number of healing items you have and bullet counts, which to be fair only appear when you are using that specific thing. One thing I'd like to see is the ability to turn off the on-screen information, so if you want the purest experience of no HUD at all, then you can do it. It remains to be seen if it's immersion breaking upon release. Some neat changes though I notice from the trailer that James marks on his map when he discovers something, now visually representing what he was doing in the original, which is kind of cool. As much as I dislike Laura in the original, it seems that they have done her character right in this trailer. She looks a lot better, and who knows, she might even be less of a dick.
Please open the door. There's something in here.
Sure there is. A big lying fart face. See a fart face?
Laura! Laura!
Maybe not. It was hard to tell, but it looks like the game is running at 30 frames per second, which may take some getting used to. We've all been spoiled by modern 60 FPS gaming, but if you look at Bloodborne, one of the greatest games of all time, 30 FPS didn't hurt that at all. Graphically, what we saw in the Transmission gameplay trailer looked really nice, to be fair. Especially those parts where the wind blew the paperwork in the office and the nasty looking treatment room. If they've put as much effort into the rest of the game, then I'm actually looking forward to seeing some of the other locales, such as Toluca Prison and the Lakeview Hotel. If done right, these could be stunning. The combat doesn't look terrible either. Silent Hill's combat has always been a janky affair, so having something a bit more robust isn't necessarily a bad thing. The only thing is, I guess you don't want it to be a carbon copy of every other third-person over-the-shoulder action game, which is a slight danger here. If you're going to compare it to anything, then it's going to be Resident Evil 4, which was fine for Resident Evil 4, but is it good for Silent Hill 2? Well, I guess it remains to be seen how it feels when we get hands-on. They also introduced the voice actors for James and Maria, both Luke Roberts, who is probably best known for his role as Eric Beaumont in Ransom, as well as appearing in shows such as Game of Thrones, Black Sails, and in the Batman movie as Thomas Wayne. Maria/Mary is played by Salome Gunnarsdottir, which you'd have seen play Greta in the Lazarus Project, and funnily enough, Patricia Wayne, who is Thomas Wayne's sister in Pennyworth. Both seem to be taking the roles seriously and have seemingly done their research. Let's hope it translates well in the finished game. I did like the scene we saw in the trailer where James snapped at Laura subtly, showing that something is not quite right with him, and if we get more displays of James slowly cracking over the course of the game, then getting in these actors would have paid off. After the gameplay, the Transmission also showed off some merch, which I'll admit, some of it I liked the look of. The Nendroid pyramid head was particularly cute, and I really liked the coin puzzle set. I suppose it's good that they are trying to support the game and cater to the fans, but the main issue is really whether the game will be any good or not. The merch could be fantastic, but if the game doesn't land, then it won't matter. So, in summary, the State of Play trailer had me a little concerned as it wasn't a great trailer. Less than 2 minutes is not long enough to show anything involving Angela, and do it in a way that might be appealing, especially considering the subject matter surrounding her character and what she's been through. The gameplay trailer looked a bit more promising, and I'm still going to reserve judgment until I've played it, but despite my trepidations, I'm still looking forward to checking it out in October. Yes, we got a release date for the 8th of October 2024. Now, sadly, I'm going to be away exactly a week before its release, meaning my plans of getting hold of a review copy and playing it before release have now gone up in smoke. I of course can't cancel my holiday, I've not been on one in 10 years and I need a break. Plus my family would kill me, so you know. But you will get my thoughts and feelings on the game in a review format, just not necessarily when everyone else's reviews drop, which makes me very sad. What I might do, however, for the first time on this channel is live stream it so you can get my reactions as I play. It might be a slower playthrough as I'll be picking it apart, but it might be interesting to do. Once again, please use the comment section of this video to have a discussion about what you thought of these two trailers. As per usual, if you haven't done already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and also like this video. If you want to keep up to date with video news or thoughts that are coming out of my head, please follow me on Twitter at DonPedroX. And if you want to support what I do, I have a Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video. Right, see you next time.